Hi, I'm Sean.
I'm Rhonda.
We're excited to be with you today to talk about what to do to get ready to share an issue with your spouse. You know, the whole thing about being willing to make changes is definitely important in our marriage. We need to be willing to make an adjustment. If we're just set on, this is the way I see things and I'm not giving up any ground, I'm not going to make any changes, you're going to have to make all the changes. That's not a good approach to have to working through issues.
And as our spouse reveals these things to us and we learn to make those adjustments instead of resenting it, we actually can learn how to relate better with other people too.
Oh, yeah.
Because who else is going to tell us if we come across as harsh or abrasive or in some other way that feels negative?
I think in the marriage is the perfect place to learn how to perfect the way we relate to people, because we're so close as a couple and we see each other's shortcomings. We see each other on the bad hair days, you might say.
Yeah.
and we're able to point those things out in a loving way that help each other to grow.
And if we don't act that way with anybody else except our spouse, then we need to make an adjustment.
Yeah.
We should give our spouse our best.
Yeah.
Not everybody else our best, and our spouse just gets whatever's left.
Yeah.
No, let's reserve what's best for our family, for those that matter most.
We need to make sure that we're describing in detail the situation that caused our negative feelings. Sometimes we expect or come across in a way as if we're expecting our spouse to already know what we're thinking and know what we're experiencing, and we don't give them any detail or behind the scenes of what's going on.
And we hold them accountable as if they knew and they did it anyway.
Yeah.
And what we see a lot with couples is they didn't know that they were doing something. They didn't understand for sure. Somebody might say something like, "I need you to speak respectfully to me." Well, what in the world does that mean? It can mean different things to different people.
It means different things to men, I think, than it does to women generally.
And so sometimes we'll see couples making this blanket sort of request, but they're not breaking it down to describe, this is what that would look like to speak politely to me, or to use kindness when we're going through an issue, or don't use that tone of voice. Well, what tone of voice? What does it sound like? Maybe next time we could let the spouse know, hey, it's happening right now. This is what it looks like. And it's more of sharing information than making accusations.
Oh, yeah. One thing we need to realize is that we are naturally inclined to come across in a defensive way. And if we aren't really surprised that our spouse would become a little defensive when we share something, I think it's not going to shake us up so much.
But I think that when we act shocked that our spouse would be defensive, we tend to also get defensive. We tend to respond or react in a way that's also negative. And just because the spouse reacts in a negative way doesn't make my negative response okay.
Right.
What if instead we said, "Oh, did I come across badly? I'm so sorry. I'm noticing a little bit of defensiveness. Did you feel like I came across in an attacking way?"
Wow, that is so good. It really helps us to understand what it feels like to be our spouse hearing the comments that we're making.
Instead of just getting upset, "How dare you talk to me like that?" Instead, why don't I pursue gathering information?
Yeah. Sometimes we can be pushy in the way that we come across to our spouse, and we don't really give them the opportunity to learn gently, I guess, what we're presenting, because we're just kind of presenting it in a I'm cramming it down your throat kind of way.
And we can share something briefly and in a polite request sort of way, and then back off. Let the Lord deal with our spouse. Pray about it. And then we can bring it up again another time. We can ask, "Can I tell you more about what it feels like to me when this happens?"
Yeah. Hopefully we're all making changes and growing over the years, and sometimes we have to give our spouse that room to make changes, and that maybe they're not at the place that I need them to be right now. It doesn't mean they can't be, but give them some space and room to grow.
And if our spouse doesn't agree or isn't on the same page, it's really not fair to become a dictator or a parent.
Yeah.
Our spouse has a right to make his or her own choices
Yeah.
without us saying it's got to be my way. I'm the one who understands what's going on here. I'm the one who I've got the right answer to this situation. No, we need to hear what both say. And so a lot of times when we make room, hey, would you let me know what you see is going on right now? A lot of times we open the door for the spouse to also listen.